So I come to you now with news. So anyways, my buddy Candy Senpai. Candy Senpai. Candy Senpai. Okay. Well anyways, I want the news. I'm reading this light novel now, I am. And this anime, this light novel adaptation, most light novels are my experience with light novels is many. Most of them are quality, but some of them are absolute garbage. But this was hot, hot fire. Like fire for us or whatever. No, hotter than that. It was hot fucking shit. So let's get into it. Biggest Aniplex.
市民たちが立てこもる行政区全86の外存在しない第86区へ追いやられた人型の豚その烙印を押された少年少女たちは日夜戦い続けていた存在しない命として友人の無人機として
What the shit? Oh, okay. I know those people. I do. Because they're within the novel. I do. Oh, she's badass. Likewise.
俺たちはじきに絶滅するでしょうその時あなたたちアルバム戦いますか自分以外の誰かに押し付けることを覚えてしまったあなたたちが
I read the novel. I did. It was badass. This, what? Oh, 2014. 4. No date. No date. No date at all, except about 2021. Thanks for watching. No problem, Candy Senpai. I got you. This was his club, not mine. Candy Senpai official or whatever.
Ever since I watched the first 2 episodes of Mushoku Tensei
Who is this?
last week,
Who?
I've been patiently
Oh yes, Chibi reviews. Okay, good stuff.
waiting for episode 3 to air, and it is finally here at long last. And I gotta say that in terms of everything I'm watching this season, like the stuff that is relatively new, I'm really looking forward to this series as my favorite. Like it's the one I'm looking forward to the most. I mean, yes, I'm loving ReZero, I'm loving Attack on Titan, etc., etc.
Likewise.
I really am looking forward to this. Out of
Egg
all
Firm,
the new
badass.
stuff, this series is just so good, and I feel like before everything is said and done, I'm probably eventually going to gravitate towards also reading the light novels of this series just because of how much I'm actually enjoying it. This episode 3, is another good example of just how to do an isekai right, and all the elements that make an isekai, and why I love it. This is what this episode does once again. So let's go into it. Let's dive into the nitty-gritty. So as I talked about in my first impressions of the series, I said that our main character, Rudy, he might not necessarily be fully special. He's someone that obviously was reincarnated, and he does bring knowledge from another world. He does have more of a different perspective on things, but overall, he is someone that might not be gifted like a normal protagonist.
No,
like,
fuck you. Fuck off, Nostalgia. You're not supposed to shit. He is garbage.
He does look very OP.
His garbage, he is.
He has to work for it.
I don't support him at all. Like dirty wages.
To be where he's at. But when you really look at it, it looks like he's someone that, is just not really that powerful. He's worked to be there. He's put a lot of time and effort to achieve what he has. And now with this episode 3 to be exact, we now know that everything he's achieved is actually thanks to hard work, and it wasn't given to him on a silver platter. I do like this, by the way. I really love this little detail that we were given within this episode, because he starts to talk to himself. He's like, I really do hope that people can't do incantations, like, incantation lists, like, magic, like me. He hopes
Might
he's
be
special,
good on
but in
there.
reality, he comes to find out he's actually not special whatsoever. And this could definitely lead to him feeling like he's weaker than others, because someone might come around that does it better. But there is a big detail about this. It does mean now that this gives us insight to a couple of things of how he was able to achieve what he now is capable of now. For instance, using magic without incantations. Most likely, it stems from worldview. This is definitely something I've talked about in my previous video. For instance, my first impressions, that the reason why he most likely can do magic like he does is because when it came to the teachings of him, he's self-taught.
No, will he?
Had no one teach him how to use magic. No one told him you need to do incantations. He just tried it on his own. He tried to do magic without incantations. That is set in rules and habits and all that of using incantations. It's going to really mess with your growth and learning of magic. I feel like that's a big detail. It's kind of like in real life. If you're trying to learn certain techniques, build up habits, you build up that is normal, something that
I learned
makes
how
sense
to
or
use
feels
public
right to you.
transit
Like if
with
you
them.
were
I
to,
did.
let's say, play basketball, okay, and you're like dribbling a ball in a certain way, and you're using your left hand to do everything, switching automatically over to the right hand, even if it's better, would definitely be probably harder if you just spent years upon years of using your left hand for everything. It's kind of something similar to that. It's not one by one the exact same, but it's kind of similar. It's to where when you build a habit of something, you have this worldview of how something should be done, and then you try to shift it to something else, it's going to be incredibly difficult to unlearn some of those bad habits you have formed. And I feel like that's kind of what's happened here, is that Rudy started with magic. He self-taught himself, which allowed him...
What? The video's long herself, and I still played on hard at the time, so let's go till it ends.
to be very open to different interpretations of how to use magic. And when it comes to the girl that he met with in this episode, the reason why she's actually able to
till
use
my
magic
timer is
like
up,
she is,
or whatever.
without using incantations, is most likely the sole reason is because she doesn't know anything about magic. She had no idea how it really was, and it was her first real interaction with magic in her lifetime.
Big ups to reviewers. I'm done.